transformation there is in the world right now, and this changing shift, this transitioning from whatever terminology, whatever metaphor you need to use to grasp it, whether it's from a dimensional shift or just a leap in evolutionary status, whatever it takes, there is a change going on, and I think most people feel it, whether they choose to admit it or not, whether their belief system or their ideology or their philosophy can encapsulate that concept. It's happening, and I was thinking about the creative process and the importance of imagination, and these are things that I've talked about and written about before, but I've never had this context just kind of hit me before, and it was basically just all of a sudden an understanding of the Renaissance. The Renaissance we all recognize as being historical fact. That period in the human timeline where Renaissance men, Renaissance artists, scientists flourished, and there was this tremendous amount of growth and experimentation and just enhanced, enriched way of living. Again, words kind of don't have the ability to really describe what's there, so you got to kind of use this imagery to paint this picture. And it really hit me because I've always been drawn to the Renaissance. I've always been drawn to the term. I've always considered myself a Renaissance man, a modern Renaissance man. I am historically have been good at anything I've applied myself to. I've been successful. If I took an interest in something and said, I want to do that, I've been able to do it, and I've been able to do it well. And I have multiple interests, which was technically, I believe the term is polymath or something like that. Not important. It's just a word. It's just a title, but it's the concept that is important. It's the human spirit at the top of the food chain, I guess. It's just, and I've always felt that I was that individual. I've always taken great effort to strive to embrace that and nurture that part of myself, and in that I have obviously the artist temperament, which makes me it's a passionate state of mind. It can be sometimes volatile, and when it comes right down to it, the principle is more important than anything else, and that's how I've lived my life. I've had this higher sense of ethics, of principle, of purpose, this sense of honor that again I've always held myself to, which is it's difficult. It's a way of life that you create obstacles for yourself to overcome, and you just get tired of overcoming them. But anyway, none of that is important. What is important is that I've always felt myself drawn to that term. I've always felt myself drawn and felt that I was much like a lot of the individuals that were in existence at that time. And it hit me that during that period, it was probably something very similar to what we've got going on now. There was a shift, there was a change going on, and the only way to get that shift to happen, the only way to physically, I felt like something was ripping through me. And once I talked about it, once I talked my way through my anger, my frustration, my anxiety, my tension, and what it was doing to me, and how I felt about it, and I talked through all that, I felt better, and all of a sudden this thought came to me, and it kind of hit me that it was like a birthing process. This is that energy that's trying to make its way into this world, this change, which is altering our reality. No different than a computer programmer logging into the operating system and changing code. You have to go through a process, you have to go through a sequence, and to manifest that change, and this is much like that. And it just hit me that there's all of these people out there, and there's all this tension and this sense of dissatisfaction, and kind of hit me that what we need to focus on is getting people to identify that in themselves, recognize that, and embrace this creative process. That all of these individuals out there that are feeling drawn to any specific art or scientific field, endeavor, need to be encouraged to go after that, and that's exactly where I'm at right now. I'm trying to break out of this situation I am in, and embrace a more creative lifestyle, and that is what is actually giving me hope and giving me this certain sense of joy. And I mentioned that before. Joy is not something that I have always been able to attain in my life. I've been content most of my life. I have been satisfied. I have been, for the most part, happy. But joy is one of those fleeting experiences. But when I think about living this creative lifestyle, about being able to convert energy into imagery or ideas, and then manifest that into this reality for others to see, I actually feel joy. And it's that desire to be in that state, to achieve that sense, that is driving me. And it's also the desire for that state that's leading to a certain level of anger and frustration with not being there yet. So as I'm trying to transition out of property management, trying to transition out of a role where I'm a target for individuals, and I'm basically a customer service representative trying to explain and put out fires, I want to be able to create and inspire, and that gives me a sense of joy, satisfaction, and that's what I'm striving to get to. But it just, in my theory, obviously there's no way to quantify this, there's no way to prove this, but in my theory there are millions of people living on this planet right now that are going through similar circumstances to us, one level or extent or another, and this edgy feeling that's got everybody, going at each other for ridiculous reasons, could be calmed down if we could get those people that are feeling that edginess to realize that.
Incoming call from Tony Bossman. work, press Uconnect phone button to answer.
Hello?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, man, I'm over here on Benito Way, number 3, the vacant unit, 403, I think it is.
411? Yes.
Did you give any of these guys that are working over here permission to use the water?
Negative.
Alright, well, they're stealing your services, man. I'm going to cut their hose. So, if you get any feedback, man, you let them know who did it.
No, I appreciate that. If I was there, I would cut it myself.
Alright, buddy. Got you covered. You want to call cops or anything? I mean, that's against the law, bro. They're stealing services.
It's not the first time we've accused them of that before. We had a vacant unit that one of those first ones we got had like a $600 water bill, and there was nobody living there.
Yeah, well, they're doing that now. So, do you want to call the cops? I'll hang here if you need me to.
No, I'm gonna get back and I'll tell Steve, and yeah, just disconnect it. Cause I don't want you to get in trouble for damaging someone else's property. But yeah, just.
No, fuck them. No, fuck that shit, man. I can't stand these. I'm cutting their fucking hose, and I'm gonna take some pictures of it too, so you'll have proof.
That would be good. Yeah, take a picture of it hooked to there and where it's actually going, and send it my way. And I appreciate it, man.
You got it, man. I'll send them via text, so they'll come on your phone.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Phone call completed.
Interesting. So then that's the kind of shit that you deal with on a daily basis in property management, and particularly with the builder that's associated with this, because he is a fucking shady, crooked motherfucker, and we've been dealing with him for a couple of years now, and no principle, no work ethic at all, no honor, no integrity, and that's the kind of stuff that not important right now. So if I can get back on my train of thought, what we need is another renaissance. That's what we need. We need to motivate and inspire individuals to embrace the creative process, find a medium and grasp a hold of that. And for me, with this new Sage Gourmand concept, that's basically what I've done. I've chosen a medium, cooking, and I use it, try to on a daily basis, from multiple standpoints, from the standpoint of experimenting and creating, to have a completed work of art, food, to the celebration of life by consuming that food. And the same thing carrying over to going out and experimenting with other restaurants and sampling other individuals' creations. That makes me happy. It gives me a sense of fulfillment. That's where I feel like I exist, and it's a common medium. It's while you may be inspired to sculpt or to paint or make music or sing or dance or whatever it is, there's always going to be a not minimal but a potentially reduced audience for that. There's going to be people that just don't care about painting. They're not interested in it. There's going to be, you may write poetry and be able to really
New SMS from Tony Bosman. Press Uconnect phone button and say text message to read it.
To convey a powerful sense through poetry, but there's some people who just don't like poetry. There's going to be that
new SMS from
that flexibility in taste. But food.
New SMS from
food is universal. We all need to eat. Now we all are going to have different tastes, but it's something it's always going to be
SMS.
And I think it's something it's common ground. It's something that everybody can agree on to a certain extent. And enjoying a meal is something that pretty much everybody can relate to.
New SMS from
That's a lot of pictures, Tony. Last notification. So, anyway, I've kind of struggled in my life with approach. How am I going to take what I feel, what I see, and convey that out into the world? What can I do to convert energy into something that will make a difference out there? And when I first got into cooking, that was one of the things that I really believed in, that I was able to, even when I was just preparing food and people were consuming it wherever I was at, whatever restaurant I was working at, I was having an effect on reality. By me handling and creating meals and people consuming them, I was having an impact. It might have been minimal, but there's a certain impact there. You're impacted by the things that you put into your body. Now that I've gotten to where I'm at now, I've really kind of come full circle back around and said, you know what, I can really take this to a whole new level by demonstrating creativity while cooking, and by sharing the pleasure of consuming that afterwards, and in most cases sharing company with others that also enjoy that, and you change the dynamic of your surroundings when you are having fun. And if you are creating something and there's satisfaction in that, and then you're consuming it, it's just, to me, it's again more bang for the buck. You got more punch coming from that. I have the ability to affect more of the reality that surrounds me, my immediate surroundings. But anyway, that was what was on my mind today. I really wanted to talk about the difference between where I was yesterday, and I still have a certain. I went home and I still was feeling, even after I wrote that, because I got back to the office and I was just like typing furiously, and it came out, and I was able to decipher what it was supposed to say, but it was all jumbled up, mismatched typos, runs together words with no spaces, but I was able to. I sat down last night and processed it at home and kind of retyped it and tweaked it, but didn't really feel comfortable with it, and there was a certain sense of almost an embarrassment, and that I read it. It made sense to me. It did, and it had power. But again, I've always struggled with whether or not other individuals will be able to comprehend, will be able to absorb, be able to grasp what is being conveyed, and how much time and effort do I want to put into putting stuff like that out there if it's not going to have an effect? But I have to keep reminding myself that the thought process alone has effect. Creating it and typing it up, whether I share it or not, has an effect. That carries over into this reality. Sharing it with people and having them read it, whether they acknowledge it, if I get a comment back on it, or a feedback, or an interaction ensues after that, all of those are different levels of how this impacts But regardless of any of that other end stuff of how much it gets out there and how well known it is, and if anybody understands and recognizes it, I'm still creating an impact on this reality and fulfilling my soul path, my whatever you want to term it, your reason for being here. And everybody's got a different reason. Everybody comes from a different source. Everybody has different levels of comprehension and ability, and it's finding that out and coming to know yourself and trusting in your intuition of what that is, and pursuing those inspirations and creating something that has the ability to impact this reality. So I went through it today. I played around with it a little bit at my desk, and I did I tweaked it. I found a way. I ended up putting it on the blog this morning, and I shared it on Twitter this morning and got nothing. No response. Or was it last night? I might have done it last night. I'm actually a little... I don't remember if I posted it last night or if I posted it this morning. I think I did it last night. I posted the blog link on my Twitter page and got nothing. I got no likes, no retweets, no sign that anybody even opened it and read it. When I opened the blog page and look at the statistics on that, it's had 10 views, which is about average for when I put it on there with the search engine bots out there that look at those things and create algorithms and whatever. 10 views is about average, 6 to 10 from not real people. It's not getting a click from an individual that's like, oh, that's interesting, I'm going to do that. It's just one of those auto-generated deals. So, to the best of my knowledge, I didn't share it on Facebook because I wasn't sure about how much I want of my friends and family to see that. I mean, I'm basically anonymous on Twitter, and that gives me a little bit of comfort, a little bit of satisfaction, because again, I feel slightly awkward and uncomfortable and a little bit embarrassed because I see things in a way that I have yet to come across another individual that sees it the same way and has the ability to comprehend. And I don't want to put, I don't know, anytime you expose yourself like that and put yourself out there, you're opening yourself out to possible ridicule or attack from ignorant individuals. Like I said, there's always going to be levels of comprehension, and if the average level of comprehension is so far below the level of work you're putting out there, chances are slim that someone's going to be able to read it and understand it and comprehend. What the idea is that there's a certain energy attached to that conveys that just without the ability to there's still a transfer of energy even without the ability to understand it. But anyway, so I shared it and I got nothing, so I actually copied the text into a Word document with a colored background and then used the snipping tool on my computer to create a JPEG and then attach that to the Twitter feed as a picture, so that the actual words were there and it had a color to it that would maybe draw more people in. Because even when I'm scrolling through there, if someone just shares a link and there's no real title or anything on it, and I think this was titled Renaissance, I think it carried the title over from the blog page, so if someone was scrolling through and was interested in Renaissance, or Renaissance was a trigger word for them, one of those things that they see, and like, oh yeah, let me see what that is, and they opened it and looked at it, great. But if it's not, it's just you just keep scrolling through it. So I went this other way and created this a couple hours ago, and put it on there so that it actually shows now a picture of the text, and it's reduced so you can't see all of it. You'd actually have to open it to read all of it with like 2 sentences out of it as the actual tweet on it itself. So I'm curious to see if that makes any difference. And I have 21 Twitter followers, so there's about 21 people that it possibly is going to pop up on their timeline, and depending on how often they look and how much they look when they get on there. Because every time I get on, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I open up the feed and I start scrolling through until I get to the stuff that I saw the last time I was on. So I see everything that's been shared or posted, for the most part, by everybody that I follow, or that whatever the algorithms on that system decide to share on my feed. But I don't know how many other people do that, so if they log in and I posted 2 hours ago and it's 400 entries down on there, and they scroll through 30 or 40 and then they're done, and then they come back later, and there's a good chance they're not going to see it. But and with only 21 people out there that get it, the percentage chances of someone actually reading it are still pretty slim, but it's still encouraging to me that that's a possibility. And that's kind of what this is about. It's kind of exploring those limits, understanding those possibilities, and trying to build something off of that. And that's my drive, that's my motivation now. It's the reason I want to get out of the property management and spend my time solely on generating things like that, finding new ways to present them, and focusing on my day-to-day living routines, what I do to find pleasure on a daily basis, and what how much of that is repetitive daily, how much is repetitive weekly, monthly, yearly, whether it's a trip, a vacation, or just my breakfast every day, and what I do and how I approach achieving that, and hopefully inspires others to explore not necessarily food, but anything, any ambition that they might have, any intuitions that they might have, any draws or desires towards specific things that they may think that's just out of the realm of their existence. I'm trying to get people to explore those options, push those limits, enhance their quality of life, and create, to help bring that new energy into this existence. So anyway, that's what I've got for today. I need to take care of some things, and hopefully I'll get this processed and posted. I was able to upload every video that had been processed and saved on the older computer that I hadn't got around to uploading to YouTube has been uploaded now. So now I'm strictly solely working on the new laptop, and I have half a dozen or so videos now that are processed that can be uploaded, and but they needed to be sequential. So I'm hoping that maybe tonight I can not only process this video, but get everything uploaded, and then hopefully, once I feel comfortable enough with it, start sharing some of these links, and see if I can get some people to watch some of this. So that's my plan, that's my goal, my objective, my ambition, and my inspiration. And